Alright, the Reds, Monday's talking Reds, me, Gareth Roberts, Ian Ryan joining me. And we've got big smiles on our faces because Liverpool were boss yesterday in the first game of the season. They battered West Ham, they scored 4, they could have scored a lot more. And everyone today is talking about nice positive things really. Got some of the papers here. You know, the game, which is the pull-out out of the Times, says worth the wait. And that's referring to Naby Keita, who it says, they say, stars in the 4-0 win on his Liverpool debut. Lots and lots of talk about Naby, of course, but I mean, I don't know if he stars, to be honest. There's lots of people you could say starred for me. I mean, James Milner, I thought, had a brilliant game. Sadio Mane scores 2 goals, works his arse off, and, you know, deserved his applause when he came off the pitch. All over the pitch, really. There were, you know, it was a good performance, but also it was a good performance where you thought they're actually capable of more there as well.
Well, isn't it good where you can talk about capable of more, but we can name probably 4 or 5 lads there who could have been man of the match.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Sadio with the 2 goals maybe sounds like an obvious one, but when you look at James Milner's performance, so we touched on it yesterday on the post-match pint, I thought he was brilliant, Robbo. I thought he, I mean, you can look at the assist for the Mane goal, which was just tremendous and just absolutely encaptures what James Milner's about. You know, graft, cleverness. He knows where the ball's going to drop. He's been around a long time. He kind of almost smells it, doesn't he? And he knows there's an opportunity there. So there's that. We touched on off air, you know, some of the quality of his crossing early doors that Liverpool didn't actually benefit from because I think Mane doesn't quite get on the end of one, and then there's a Firmino and Salah one early doors where they both kind of miss it. But
it was a good ball.
It was a fantastic ball in, and his performance was tremendous. And I think if you look at what fans were saying about what starting 11 might kind of take place for the first game, probably Milner wasn't in a lot of people's starting 11. They were thinking, you know, do you bring Henderson back early doors? You know, does Fabinho start his first game? But there's 32-year-old James Milner rolling back the years, looking absolutely boss. You touched on Naby there. Thought he was good. Thought he was really good, actually. I love the way the midfield can interchange, and it must make it so hard for the opponents to know actually who to pick up. And I think you saw a little bit of it on Match of the Day 2 last night, where you know, Noble and Wilshere just didn't have a clue. They didn't have a clue. They couldn't handle it. The movement was so good, and they're almost kind of time just staring at each other, thinking, "Well, who's my man? Where do I go now?" And there was huge gaps in between the two of them, but that's because Liverpool are pulling them apart. And then you think about Gini's performance, and I thought again, you know, on the back of what was only a friendly against Torino, but I thought he was excellent that night, and he carries that form into kind of Sunday against West Ham. Another brilliant performance, and you know, I thought Van Dijk again. You know, whilst they didn't have loads to do, he was just as usual, composed, brilliant self.
Do you like that clip that's kicking around where he says, "Stop the fucking cross"?
I know. I mean, he was arguing with him as well, by the way. You know what I mean? Absolute gladiator. So I just think I love the way I kind of watched it quite closely yesterday, where I think we talked about it a little bit on the post-match pint, where we do kind of almost suffocate teams and just keep them in their own half. They can't get out. But I love the way Van Dijk just moves into a midfield area, and then he's like almost playing like a midfielder, and he's good enough to do it as well. Yeah. And you know, again, it just kind of compresses the pitch, and it must be so hard to play against. And it just gets you really excited for all the games that are going to be coming up, doesn't it? So it was a brilliant opening day performance.
Yeah, it was superb. It was great to be back at Anfield. Good atmosphere as well. Smiles all around. You know, the manager doing his little mad celebration there, which has been the talk of the media today. It was really funny this morning, actually. I was up early this morning. I was listening to 5 Live. I was listening to Tony Livesey, you know, doing his show on 5 Live, and they were talking about. They tried to talk about Klopp's celebration on national radio at 7 o'clock in the morning, and none of them could really find the words of quite what he was doing. I mean, you know, I can say it. It looks like he's having a wank, but they're not allowed to say that on 5 Live, are they? Anyway, Ian's mentioned there a couple of times that we did do something called the post-match pint. If you haven't got onto this yet, it's a new video show that we're doing, which is what it says on the tin. It's a post-match pint. So what we do is, after every Liverpool game at home, well, we're going to do it away, actually. I'll explain that in a minute. But the home games, we go to Hotel Tia, which is on Anfield Road, which is a cracking bevy, to be honest, and it's right by the ground as well. So we dive into there straight after the match. We get a pint and we have a chat about what we just watched at Anfield. And we did one of those for the Torino game. We did one last season, and we did one for West Ham as well. So here's a clip of that. Have a look.
Sadio Mane at what point do you have to start talking about him as a world-class footballer? Yeah. Because now, to me, he's doing things that world-class footballers do.
I think it'll be the season.
I think it is.
He was on it from the very start, wasn't
and I think there's a bit of a feeling, I know I've sensed it, and I know others have as well, there's a bit of a feeling that we're going to see a big step up again from Mane this season. Yeah. There was almost like an adaptation period last year to the new position. He also had a few ups and downs with the red card at City and injury and what have you, but it feels now he's very comfortable in his own skin. He's got the number 10 shirt, and it just feels like everything's set up for him to hit the ground running, and he has done today with 2 goals, you know. So I think the answer to your question is very much so this year.
I think so. I think sometimes because maybe he doesn't look as, you know, aesthetically pleasing as say a Hazard and things, you know, the way he glides past defenders, Hazard, and he does look great to watch. But when you look at Mane, when you look at his numbers, the impact, you see how scared teams are. They're putting 2 lads on him because they think, this lad's going to absolutely cut us to shreds here. So
he's like the least sexiest of the front three,
he probably is.
Because you've got Salah, who's now a world superstar. He scores 44 goals last season. You got Firmino, who's cool as fuck, Brazilian, does no looks and all that. Sadio's like the ugly cousin or something.
He's the maverick, you know what I mean?
But he's fucking boss.
And he will have those games where he looks a little bit of a maverick, and maybe it bounces off, and not everything will come off. But I tell you what, the lad this year has got potential to hit 30 goals for us this season because he looks, I mean, game 1 and he looks like that. Imagine what he's back in game 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6.
Okay, that's the post-match pint. So if you haven't watched that, it's on the YouTube channel there. I think last time I had a look, about 18,000 people had watched it, which is nice. Keep the feedback coming as well. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you think it could get better and all that kind of stuff. We are listening. We do read everything you post up. Also this afternoon as well, we're recording something else, another new video show called The Second Look. Again, it's what it says on the tin. We're going to have a second look at the match. I don't mean we're actually going to sit there watching it, but the idea is that it's a more considered look at what happened at Anfield. It's not, with a pint in your hand when you're all buzzing because Liverpool have just won 4-0. It's more like, what can we take from that match? Pull out a couple of discussion points, that kind of thing. So we're going to record one of them this afternoon, put that out tomorrow, so look out for that. And also we'll be doing preview videos before every Liverpool game this season as well. So loads to look out for video-wise. The podcast will remain the same. Right now the free show is being recorded downstairs. That will be out there as normal. The review will be out there as normal as well. So, there's lots to listen to, lots to watch this season. And the away games as well, we'll do the post-match pint for those as well. We'll do those from here, Avenue HQ in Liverpool. And what we'll do is we'll get one of the contributors who's been to the away game to send over a bit of video as well. We'll mash it all together. We'll make it work. Looking forward to it. And yeah, let us know your feedback on all that kind of stuff. A little bit more about the match yesterday then. We talked about Naby and we talked about the fact that we haven't talked about it today, but we talked about in general the fact that he's happy to sort of pick that number 8 shirt up. He's all right with it. And I think, for me, there was loads of encouraging things about his performance, but, his touch was brilliant. He just slotted in as well, didn't he? Just slotted straight in. He's a new player, isn't he? And I think you get all the eyes are on the new player. You want to see them make a strong debut. We didn't see too much from the goalie because West Ham didn't really get near our goal that much. But from Naby, I think, as I say, his touch, his link-up play, his energy, he's intercepting a few things as well. He's got a defensive side to his game. It was all good, wasn't it? All good, but more to come.
All really, really good. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. There's loads more to come, I think, and that's the brilliant thing about this Liverpool team, but also about Naby Keita. And I think, what struck me was he's such a flexible footballer as well. He looks comfortable all over the pitch, and obviously we shift him a little bit to the left-hand side, second half, and you can see he's got the potential to.
He's in the front three at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. Yeah, the left-hand side of the front three, he can cause untold danger from there. But the weight of his passes as well was something that struck me a lot more when I watched it back last night. He's got a lovely kind of touch, hasn't he? And that weight of pass, and I think you see it for the first goal where it just tells Andy Roberts what to do with the ball, and obviously puts a great ball in for Salah. So loads more to come, but I think you can see the fact that he's got the ability to drive at the heart of the defence as well. And I think again it comes back to that, well, how do you handle that? How do you kind of stop that? And for these games that are going to be coming up against other sides you maybe think will be around the bottom half of the league, they'll try and frustrate Liverpool and try and sit in and dig in and make it dead awkward. But it's really hard if you've got lads who are prepared to run at you and take a man on and beat a man, because that opens up all the space. And, you know, we've probably missed a little bit of that when we lost Coutinho. You know, we didn't miss him loads, but there was times where you could tell you missed him. But having Naby there, different kind of player, but there's also similarities between the two and the fact that he can open up so much space. So, just really exciting. But as I say, there's loads of standouts, isn't it? And to think he didn't get to see Fabinho yesterday, but I think, you know, there's definitely loads to come from him. And obviously, your Bezzy Shaqiri comes on, does little bits, but it's early days. But the reception he gets, Robbo, is great, because you can see that there's already something, without any real substance to it yet, I might add, apart from the Obed kick, which was brilliant in pre-season. There's already something building there between the fans.
I just love the way, there is definitely, but also
a bit of rapport there going on already.
Have you seen when he's about to come on as well, and like Klopp's like, you know, got his arm around him and all this, and he's got a big smile on his face. He's absolutely made up to be here, you can tell. But what I liked is, as soon as he come on the pitch, he's like playing a 1-2 and he's trying to get in. You know, he wants a goal, and like he's trying to make stuff happen. He's not fazed by playing with Liverpool one bit. You know, and yeah, we talked a little bit about him on that post-match.
But imagine being him, all of a sudden he's got players around him who are on the same wavelength, as opposed to soft lad Charlie Adam, who's absolutely not on the same wavelength, probably in the fucking chippy, you know what I mean? So it's a totally kind of different game for him now, and he realises that, and he's thinking, you know what, I've got a chance here at a huge football club. I'm going to own it. I'm going to make sure that I don't let anyone down. And he just looks really up for it. Your point about Alisson, we don't get to see a lot of them, do we? Because we keep West Ham at bay. I think there was only a half chance for them, really, I can think of, where Arnautovic pulls a great one down.
There's a chance in the corner.
Target. Yeah, little chance in the corner. I think we touched on it again on what we've done it on previous shows, where he probably will give one or two a little heart attack at some point. But I like his confidence, me, and he just looks, again, I think you made a point yesterday, he looks like he believes he belongs at a football club of this size, and that's just great to see. And he will get tested in up and coming games, but yesterday was a comfortable afternoon for him.
The other thing which Klopp touched on late in his press conference yesterday was he got asked a question about, it's quite funny actually, got asked a question about, did you see the quality that you had on the bench? Was actually the way the question was worded, and he was like, yeah mate, I'm not blind. But I mean, what was interesting was, you know, you had the three that he brings on, and then you had like Lallana, who doesn't get on. No. You've got people who didn't even make the match day squad. I mean, he talked about Klopp, and I know he's not to everyone's taste, this player, but Klopp talked about that Albi Moreno's played really well pre-season for him, and he said, you know, he's been doing everything he should be in training, and he said, and it was a really difficult conversation for me to say why you're not in the match day squad. And he said, I haven't got anything to give him. I haven't got any feedback to say you're in it because you've done X wrong, because he hasn't done anything wrong. It's just that we have finally a team's got the requisite strength and depth to do something this season. Well,
it certainly looked that way, and as I say, you know, to look at the bench yesterday, it just gives you kind of more confidence to say that this Liverpool team could mount a serious challenge this season. And, you know, it is the first game, but it's hard not to get excited about it.
I'll get excited. Top of the league.
There's 37 more of them boys, and we've done it, you know what I mean? So it's like you can't help yourself, because this is what being a fan is all about. It's about getting excited. You know, you look at our performance yesterday, and the kind of impact it has on the fan base, you know, compared to, say, Arsenal's, you know, and they're at the start of a new journey, and that must be so disheartening when you have the champions come to your ground and just probably play
own it.
Yeah, they own it, but they're probably in second gear about pretty much all that game, and it was all too easy for them. And you think what surrounds that club at the minute in terms of atmosphere and feel good factor, compared it to what surrounds us. And it wasn't so long ago, you know, Liverpool and Arsenal were competing for top four. Well, we look an absolute million miles ahead of them. And you really do think that it's Liverpool and City who are going to be going head to head. Again, you know, it's early doors, but the signs are really, really positive from yesterday.
Absolutely. It's a great time to be a Red. It's a great time to do the Anfield app. We're delighted to do what we do, and we appreciate your support. We do want you to listen to the podcast still. We're doing lots more video, but the podcast is our bread and butter. And one of the most popular ones is the post-match show, which we're still calling the Pink. Neil started calling it the post-match show, but everyone else is still calling it the Pink. Why is it called the Pink? It's because the Pink Echo, the Footy Echo, long gone, RIP, but it was a great part of you know, football life.
You know,
I loved it, mate. I read it and I delivered it.
Like
you know what I mean?
Back, by the way, you went through all.
Oh yeah, you went through all of it. I mean, you know, this is obviously pre-internet days, and what, you know, back then I reckon I knew more about like other footy than because now I think now you can.
Getting on, didn't they? You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, you'd know how Southport were getting on, Marine were getting on. You knew old Sammir's players. You knew what was going on in the fucking Zingari. You know what I mean? Because it was a great way of getting loads of information about football, and like, you know, as you say, as the week went on, you'd read the thing front to back, wouldn't you? So the idea behind that as well was that it was out there as well by sort of, like, you could go the match and by the time you was back home again, it'd be in the news agents. And it'd be great to go and get it and read the report on the match that you've just been to. There's something special about that. So the idea is that our podcast, The Pink, is the same kind of idea. You get home from a match and you can hear what we all thought of it, and people enjoying themselves. So if you've never listened to it, if you don't know what it's all about, we're going to end today's Talking Reds with a clip of that. But Talking Reds will be back tomorrow, and have a go with all that content of being plugging away there. Up the Reds.
They themselves, I thought West Ham, again, I thought we looked tired at times. I thought we were going into the end of the first half, end of the second half. We did look a bit tired, but you could just see that you're physically and mentally exhausted because these lads are everywhere. They're running past you, they're running beyond you. They're absolutely all over the place, these boys. They're just giving you questions all the time.
And what I would accentuate is there's so much more to come. Like, you know, once there's a few new players, obviously, today, and there's so much more to come from this football team. It's frightening. They won 4-0 today. And, you know, it was like second, third gear, as we've all said. And I just think Keita, he's a Rolls Royce, he's absolutely unbelievable. Like, for the first goal, he made that first goal with his decision-making on his pass. Everyone's saying, pass. But he carries it.
Wait until the space.
Yeah, and he basically tells Andy Robertson what to do.
Yeah.
There's that awesome mega quote that we're not sure whether it's real or not.
So there's 57 different ways 57 different bits of information to pass the ball with.
Yeah, we're not sure if it's real or not, but like, he does that. He basically goes, "Don't worry, Andy, I've got it all boxed." Like, he's like a brilliant chess player, thinking 3 or 4 steps ahead. Like, it was interesting what he did with him, like, second half as well, like playing him left wing, seeing if that worked. I don't think he did particularly, but I think he just wants to have a look at it. But I'm so excited about Keita, and I think, like, you know, chance Tony Barrett at half time as well. I saw Tony, and he was like, just wants to talk about Keita to me. He's so excited about him as well. And I think everyone in the club's just like, this lad. There's so much more to come. There's so much more to come from the whole football team.